Good afternoon from Disney Springs, and welcome back to a little game I like to call Resort Randomizer. If you guys are new here, this is the game where we come out here to the Disney Springs bus stop station, roll a random number generator, and hop on whatever resort bus it tells us to. We go spend the afternoon out at that resort, exploring it, feeling out the ambiance, and seeing if that resort is right for you. A couple of rules to our game. Number one, it has to be random. No matter which number we roll, we have to get on that bus and go explore that resort, unless we've already been there before. At that point, we will re-roll, and by the end of the game, we've gone to every single resort. Rule number two, there's a couple locations we won't be going to, which includes Shades of Green, the private military resort, Golden Oak, which is the private residence, Galactic Star Cruiser, which is a private experience all on its own, and any third-party resorts on property, including the Swan and Dolphin, which are owned and operated by Marriott. Prior to this episode, we have visited all of these resorts listed here. If you'd like to go and watch those resort tours, there will be a link at the end of the video with all of them, and I'll also include a link in the description below so you can watch them from there. Why don't you guys come along? Let's go make some memories together. 29 is still our highest number, so we're going to set the random number generator to 29. If we get any resort that shares a bus stop with another one, and we will roll. Number 4 does not exist. Number 1 does not exist. Number 29, ooh, okay, so we've got the all-star resorts this time. Now, because there are 3 different all-star resorts, which include music, movies, and sports, we're going to set the random number generator to 3. Music will be 1, movies will be 2, and sports will be 3. We're going to sports. Surprisingly, this is our very first resort tour that's not a deluxe. I'm actually kind of excited. This is going to be a value resort. I have actually never been here before. I've not actually been to any of the all-star resorts, so this is actually going to be a new experience for me. I'm anticipating it to be pretty busy. It is a very, very popular resort for groups. It is spring break, so we will probably see tons of people there. But you know what? I'm still excited to go check it out. All right, we made it. Kind of a longer bus drive because we are very far out from Disney Springs. We are actually technically in the Animal Kingdom section of Walt Disney World. If you're familiar with how far away Animal Kingdom Lodge is, not quite that far, but we are the next one. Now, the bus I was on did service all 3 resorts. All-Star Sports is the first one in the complex, so that means if you're at the other 2, you could be waiting a long time to get on or off your bus, depending on how long it takes to load and unload guests. Since I was one of 3 people on my entire bus, she just specified, what resort are you going to? So I would assume if I was at the farther out ones, she would have been totally fine just skipping this one entirely and dropping me off there, but that might not be the case for you. Now, the bus did drop us off right here, which is a fairly large bus stop station compared to most other resorts. There is an entrance to the right here that feeds, I believe, probably into the gift shop, kind of like Pop Century does, but we're gonna come around this way and we're gonna enter in through the main entrance as if we were a guest that was entering through the drive up. All right, kind of a small lobby with a small check-in area, way smaller than I anticipated it being. Right outside of the front desk is going to be some restrooms, the gift shop. Looks like there's going to be some pictures and awards for some famous athletes. We'll take a better look at those here in a second. And then the rest of the resort continues on that way. These look like TV screens. I wonder if these change with like your Magic Band, if you're standing close to them, they know you're staying at the resort. Like maybe it says like your name. I don't know. Like that one's also a TV screen. Got a list of all the recreational activities happening for the month of March. Every resort is going to have special activities that you can do. Some free, some are paid for. Things like poolside activities, arts and crafts, trivia, movies by the pool or movies under the stars, s'mores you can make. So check in with your front desk for more information if you guys are staying here. Muhammad Ali, Tony Hawk, LeBron James. I'm not a sports person, so unfortunately I don't recognize a ton of these people. I think that's Sean, I forget his last name. To our right, we have the arcade. We'll go jump in here real quick and take a look around. Oh man, I feel like I'm in Chuck E. Cheese or Main Event. This is massive. Because the All-Stars attract so many large family groups and tour groups and athlete groups, this makes sense that this is absolutely massive. Like, it is easily the biggest one I've ever seen. And it's getting some pretty good use. There's quite a few people in here as well. And then right outside Game Point Arcade is going to be the Endzone food court. But before I go in there, I do want to double back. I want to go in the gift shop first and try and look for some exclusive merch. Because this is a value, I don't think there's going to be a lot of exclusive merch. Maybe a pen, maybe an ornament. Sport Goofy Gift and Sundries. Pretty standard gift shop from what I can tell so far. Yeah, a lot of this stuff you can find just at Disney Springs or in the theme parks. So if you guys are wanting to grab something before you go, or maybe something you forgot to grab, this is a good place to get that. Like, there's quite literally like everything here. Found a very limited supply of the exclusive merchandise here. They don't even have all of it. They're out of the pin, which I'll put a picture of the pin right here. But they have this like girl shirt, Spirit Builds character, this boy shirt, All-Star Sports. So this is like exclusive to just this resort, but mostly other merch is going to be kind of generic to encompass all three. Matching magnet. Here's the ornament right here. That is pretty cute. And then there's a zip-up hoodie. And that's kind of it. There's really not a lot here. On the other side of this display, though, they do have some ESPN merch, which I would assume would only be at this one. We are very close to the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Got a hat, I think another bucket hat, like a blanket, something for you to sit on the grass, which is kind of nice and creative. Short sleeve ringer tee, ESPN hat, got a t-shirt bundle, more clothes. Coming into the food section, there's not going to be a lot of options in here. There's definitely all your snacks, your suckers, your candy, gummies, stuff like that. Couple coolers over here full of drinks and a tiny, tiny bit of cold refrigerated things. Because this isn't a DVC resort, there's not going to be kitchenettes in your rooms, maybe a small fridge. I'm not 100% certain on that. I would assume there's something small because they have things like Lunchables and cheese. But other than that, you've got to go get food at the quick service location, which we'll be going to next. Now, because you are at a value resort, this is going to be your only dining option. Now, don't let that discourage you. There are some options here, and it looks like there's quite a few different things to pick from. Also, the only McDonald's on property right outside the All-Stars, which I assume gets wildly busy depending on the time of the year. But you can also make a trip out to that McDonald's to get your standard McDonald's food. Treat cases with some St. Patrick's Day goodies in there since it is the week of St. Patrick's Day. More bakery treats here. That coffee cake looks really good. But this is something I am keeping my eye on today. This MVP cupcake, which is going to be a signature item here at the resort. Salmon and beef, buttermilk chicken, so kind of your more savory dishes. Couple salads, things like that. Burgers, fries, hot dogs, chicken sandwiches, pulled pork, pizzas. They even have a little ice cream booth. That's cute. I didn't expect that. I'll obviously include the menu in the description like I do for all my resorts. Back here in this little nook is going to be the market. Quick grab things you can get, juices, milks, fruit cups, salads, probably some sandwiches here. Over here they've got the Grandstand Spirits, which I think also doubles as the pool bar. I think you can access it from the other side. Looks like your standard things. I don't know if anything is exclusive here, but it all sounds pretty good. Looks like over the last couple of years, they've updated this to be more modernized with how the Mickey and Friends group looks like now. They're all playing sports. So Goofy's like diving off the diving board. Pluto missed the ball there. Yeah, I like it. It's a pretty decently sized food court, obviously to accommodate for large crowds. It might not be the largest one I've ever seen, but definitely still pretty big. It's not even super busy in here, and it's already pretty loud and echoey. Like, I think that the acoustics are just that intense for this room. So I can't imagine this being full of even more people, especially younger children, teenagers, who are like running around and getting their food and stuff. We're gonna be right here in Stadium Hall. That's the Surf's Up pool that we're gonna be going to. I figured we'd probably just kind of do a loop, start over here, continue up with surf, go to hoops, center court, which looks like it might be tennis, move over here to home run, which is baseball. Looks like they've got another pool, and then we'll go over to the football and then make our way back here and grab our snack. Right before the pool is going to be another map if you don't happen to have a paper one like I did. There is also a running trail that's around the property. Most, if not all, Disney resorts will have one. We're right here. Looks like it's just along the outside here. Oh, it extends all of the All-Stars. So there's All-Star Movies, and there's All-Star Music. So it's just a quick run back and forth, not actually around the property like most other running trails are. Here is going to be the Surf's Up pool, and it is so cold today, not a single person is using it. That is wild to me. Cast member playing a game of cornhole with himself. That's kind of sad. I wish someone would play with him. Here's the other side of that pool bar that we saw on the inside of the food court. Looks like there's some additional seating out here for the food court. If you don't want to sit inside with all the chaos, you can kind of enjoy kind of a little bit more of a quieter area. It even extends past the little bushes here with some Adirondack chairs as well. We're not going to explore the football section yet, but over here, still outside of the food court, you're going to have a big game of chess you can play. There's those Adirondack chairs I pointed out. And then over here is going to be the little fire pit that you can use. Every single resort's going to have one of these. Come out here, roast some marshmallows. Some resorts do marshmallows for free, but otherwise they will sell you a kit that you can purchase and do it out here as like a fun activity. Of course, being called the Surfside section, it's going to be all surfing themed. I actually really like this. It's a little tacky because this, you know, that's kind of what the All-Stars do, or the values in general just kind of do that. But I actually really don't mind this. It's actually kind of cool. Like I said, I'm not a sports guy at all, but I really do like the theming for this section because I love the ocean. I love the idea of surfing. I can't surf, but I love the idea of it. And they even went so far as to make kind of like a wooden plank, like dock kind of area that we're walking on here. Uh-oh. It's a shark! Oh no! Just kidding. Although, imagine if that was a shark. That'd be a big old megalodon, probably. That's slightly terrifying to think about. But don't worry, not real. You're safe. Now, I normally don't come into the pool areas themselves because people are usually using them and I don't want to, you know, violate anyone's privacy or disrupt anyone's activities. But I am quite literally the only guest in the pool area right now. Like, lifeguards are having fun dancing to Cher. I don't know if you can hear it all, but Cher is playing in the background. They're just having fun. Got like a little kiddie pool here that kind of looks like the heart of Tafiti. I know it's not, but, you know, kind of funny how it's designed that way. Yeah, nobody in the pool today. That's so funny to me. Oh, they've even got some cute like sea stars and shells in the ground here. It's the little details that makes Disney so fun. On the other side of the pool is gonna be the Surf's Up bathhouse, which is gonna house your guest laundry. It is a fairly standard laundry room. Washers, dryers, vending machines with things that you may need to purchase. Here's a ping pong table right outside of the Surf's Up bathhouse laundry facility. They had another one on the other side. Guests were using it, so I didn't want to bother filming them. I would assume you need to go to the front desk and rent supplies. I would just check in with them when you first get here if you want to play. More heavily themed surf area on the other side of the resort. Looks identical to me. I don't think anything's different. I didn't point out earlier, but all of the stairs, like that stairs to get to the higher rooms, are all based on the theme of the resort. Because it's surfing, it's a lifeguard tower. And you can kind of see behind is going to be a like tennis canister for like the tennis balls. I love that. More Adirondack chairs for relaxing and a giant game of checkers here as well. We've reached a little junction here. We've got tennis over here. We've got basketball over there. Figure we go do basketball first, get that done and out of the way. But I want to go check out this little photo op here. It's Mickey on the podium. He's the winner. Now, it doesn't necessarily say that it's for All-Star Sports. It just says All-Star Resorts. But I would assume each resort would have a different one, maybe? The base actually makes a hidden Mickey as well. I love that. Of course, in the basketball section, we've got some giant megaphones for our stairs, some giant basketball goals and basketballs themselves. And that's whistle kind of looks like a slide. I know it's not, but wouldn't that be so fun to go down? We'll get a closer look here in a minute. Looks like they've also got some pretty extensive refurb happening here, probably updating rooms, modernizing them, getting rid of old designs, bringing in new designs. Because all the All-Stars share all the same idea and theming to an extent, these might be identical to ones that already exist at the other two resorts. If I can find a picture, I'll include it here so you guys can kind of get a rough idea of what your room may look like when it's finished. Creatively, they have some like courtside benches for you to sit on. What I want to know is how big do you have to be to actively use this? Like how big would a human have to be to pick this up as if it was like a normal whistle in my hand and blow it? Let me know in the comments below if you guys know how big that is. Same with these basketballs. Like how big do you have to be for that to be a natural sized basketball in your hand and shoot it into this giant hoop right here? But if you're familiar with the All-Stars, these all seem pretty standard. The balcony rooms, Nothing's going to be an interior walkway. You're going to be walking outside quite a bit, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but Florida weather, unpredictable. So far, each section also feels relatively small. I know I've only explored 2 different sections, but it feels like they're very tiny, at least compared to, say, like Pop Century, which seems pretty large. I think I still have 3 or 4 other sports to go check out, and I believe tennis is next. So let's head that way. Moving into tennis, and I can tell you, I'm already gonna love this section. I see my boys right there. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. They're playing baseball on the tennis court. So Huey, Dewey, and Louie are here, getting ready to play. And then Donald is all the way over here, mad because he's getting ready to play. I don't know who he's supposed to be playing against. There's no other opponent. But that's very normal fashion for them to be disrupting anything that he's doing. I love Donald. He's so fun. Continuing with our oversized decorations, giant tennis rackets and tennis balls. The 15s, 30s, and 45s, whatever, are gonna be all of the points that tennis is calculated by, which I've never quite understood why. I don't know why it's calculated by 15s. Like, let me know in the comments if you guys know, because I don't know why every sport isn't just calculated the same way. Like, why is football done in 6s and then a 7 is your field goal? I don't understand it. That seems like a hard number to keep track of. And I don't know what love means. I mean, I know what love means, but like, as like a point, like 15 love, or maybe just love by itself. But there's 15 all. Yeah, let me know if you guys know what that means too. Help a non-sports guy out. And instead of giant whistles, we've got giant towers that the ref usually watches from to kind of help calculate the scores, because those tennis balls are moving so fast across the court. And some silhouettes of some players as well. I believe on both sides. Yeah, on both sides. And I love that you can actively walk on this tennis court too. Like, this isn't actually grass. Like, this is meant for people to go and walk on. You can't actually play tennis here. Like, that's actually metal. You can play table tennis though over by the pools. We did see that. Here's a closer look at Donald. We're nearing the end of the tennis section, and something I want to point out to you guys is how close we are to the other All-Stars. Like, that I believe is going to be All-Star Music. Like, those are shockingly close. I guess if I wanted to do an entire video of one, I could today, but we're going to save this all for different videos whenever I eventually rolled that number. But yeah, you can literally walk to all 3 of them. I believe we only have 2 sports left to go check out. Football, which is kind of behind those trees there, and then those giant Coca-Cola cups is going to be baseball. So we'll go check out baseball first and make our way back towards the front, since I know that the football is going to be closest to the main lobby. Definitely a very small resort. I would say this is definitely the smallest value I've ever been to, compared at least to Pop Century and Art of Animation. How this area houses so many groups is kind of surprising to me. A little bit of wayfinding. There's the backside of the Surf's Up area and the tennis. There is going to be football, and we're moving on to baseball. Kind of in the middle of surf, football, and tennis is going to be this little playground. I almost walked right past this and didn't even see it. Very cute. These giant Coca-Cola cups are going to be your stairwells for this location. Continuing on with our oversized decor, giant bats and giant baseballs, and some like little banners that would sit on the side of the like stands. These are here going to be scoreboards. I can't tell if anybody's even made a score. I don't think anybody has. Some giant restrooms there underneath those stands. There's only 2 pools at the property. This is the second one, baseball pool. You've got Goofy there in the middle. What looks like he's probably using that cannon to shoot his baseball, which feels illegal. I don't know how he keeps allowed to be playing sports, but for some reason they keep bringing him back. And again, it's so chilly out that no one's in here. This pool was remarkably smaller than the other one, which even that other Surf's Up pool was not very big. I like this little batting cage at this corner of the pool. It is shaped like a baseball diamond, so home, first, second, third, back to home. There's a better look at Goofy and the baseballs at his feet right there. But that spills us right into football here, which is going to have these giant footballs as our stairwells. I actually really like this section. I'm not a big football guy, obviously. You got your like markers, goal, 10 yards, 20 yards, all the way down. They've got some bleacher seating for your little rest areas. You need to stop and rest. This is definitely the largest of all of the sports areas I've seen so far. probably accommodates the most rooms aside from the surf area. And these giant helmets, I don't think they're anything like specific to any team, but they are giant. They are the most impressive of all the displays so far. Now, I don't quite know if this is considered a hidden Mickey or not. You've also got a giant play here on the ground. I wonder if anybody actually like plays this out. They do have a lot of kids playing on the ground right now because this is very large and open. Anybody can come and play out here. I've also heard this is where a lot of the cheer groups come and practice their drills, plays, runs. I don't know what they're called, I'm so sorry. But this is where they'll come out here and practice. Well, here we are back at the beginning. Like I said, very small resort. I'm actually shocked by how tiny this is. I guess you're supposed to spill over into the other two resorts once this one is full. But yeah, here we are back at the Endzone food court. We're gonna pop in here, go grab that fun baseball MVP cupcake, and maybe we'll sit outside and eat it. It's kind of nice out today now. The MVP cupcake is going to be a yellow cake filled with apple pie filling, topped with a caramel popcorn peanut crunch, and a buttercream baseball, which I think sounds delectable. I normally try to avoid getting cupcakes at resorts because they all kind of taste at the end of the day, but I love apple, and this one sounds great. Take a piece of the popcorn off first. It's a little soft. It at least tastes good though, but it's not gonna have like a popcorn crunch to it at all. I managed to free it from its paper prison pretty unscathed. I guess I kind of need to eat this cupcake topper first because there's no way I can just fit my entire mouth around it. It's quite literally a glob of frosting. I bit right into that. It's not bad though, it's a good buttercream. I was able to break a tiny bit off, and unfortunately they did skimp a little bit on the apple pie filling, which is kind of a bummer, but I'm sure it still tastes great. There's a teeny bit of apple on that one. I didn't really get a whole lot. Well, the rest of the frosting fell off just from the sheer weight of it, but at least I got more exposed to that apple. That's pretty good apple pie filling. I'm not gonna lie. It's not the greatest, but it's still pretty good. One of my favorite cupcake I've ever had here on property. I still think it's decent. It's a little expensive for what it is. This is more unique than just a standard chocolate cupcake or a standard vanilla cupcake. So let's talk some pros and cons about All-Star Sports. Biggest pro would be the price. This, being a value, is one of the lowest price resorts you can get just about any time of the year, which is a major plus for families who are looking to stay on property on a very strict budget and still enjoy being within the Disney bubble. Another pro would be the size. It's a pretty small resort, very easy to navigate. I wouldn't say there's really any bad rooms here. I walked around this entire thing and probably filmed this entire vlog within an hour. And that was me really taking my time. So even if you're all the way out of baseball, you're not still super far from that food court area, which is where the gift shop is, where the food is, where the main desk is, the buses, all that stuff. And if you're a sports fan, I'd say this is pretty fun. I'm not the biggest sports guy, but I still really enjoyed it. I'm someone who actually really enjoys the look of values. I know they're not for everybody because they're so kitschy and they're, kind of borderline tacky to some people, but I think they're fun. I really like the larger than life stuff. Do I care that it's sports theme? Not really. But if I'm looking to stay somewhere really cheap and still enjoy my time here on property, I wouldn't hesitate booking here. But that leads me into my cons though. Like I said earlier, this attracts major groups. There are a lot of sports teams that come here, a lot of cheerleading teams that come here. I mean, just walking around today, there's been a group of boys walking around here. I assume that they are probably baseball players. I'm not entirely certain. But you're gonna have groups of those kids who are walking around without parents, without guardians. We all know how teens and kids get, which can lead to a loud atmosphere. So this is definitely not somewhere you want to stay. If you're wanting to get away and kind of be away from all the hubbub of crowds and everything, this is gonna be one of the most crowded resorts you could ever pick. Dining is also kind of an The only location is going to be that food court or the McDonald's outside of the property itself. There was quite a bit more offered at the food court than I thought there was going to be, so that was kind of nice. But if you're wanting to have like a sit-down dinner, you're not gonna have it here. Like, this is meant for people who are gonna spend maybe all day at the resorts and come back and just need a bed to sleep in, which again, if you're looking for a budget, it's not a bad thing. Plus, it's really easy to head to Disney Springs or go to another resort and maybe enjoy a sit-down dinner there if that's where you're choosing to spend your money rather than in a hotel room. Another big con is transportation. There is not a lot of adequate transportation from the All-Stars, from any of them. They are only serviced by bus. So no monorail, no boat, no Skyliner, just a bus, which again, if you're looking at the crowds that stay here, imagine first thing in the morning, everyone's trying to go to Magic Kingdom. You're gonna be in that bus line for a very long time. So maybe it's easier for you to bring your own cars and park here, or maybe call an Uber, whatever you feel like might be faster than waiting for that bus. Let me know in the comments, have you guys stayed here? Would you guys stay here? Thank you guys so much for coming along. Hope you guys had a wonderful time, and thanks for making memories with me. We'll see you next time.